always blessed to have the opportunities to be with groups of people like you and hopefully challenge a little perspective, motivation, direction in the way that we think. So no matter how hard we try, pain is unavoidable. But we can choose to embrace pain and use it to our advantage. And so if there's one thing you remember from today, it's these 4 words. Embrace pain, avoid suffering. And yes, I have a very unique story, but what I've learned in all my time of doing this is that we all have unique stories. What's important is that we pause and become aware of the lessons that we can extract from those stories, and then become intentional with how do we apply those into our lives. How do we become intentional with how we apply those in the lives of other people? And how do we tap into the collective wisdom that exists from all of our collective stories so that we can learn and grow together? I learned to embrace pain, to avoid suffering. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. Once I became aware of this gift, it forever changed the way that I live my life. You see, because I believe we have to choose our pain or our suffering will choose us. And we're going to unpack little pieces of this over time today. It's this very concept that I've used to help hundreds of individuals and businesses just like you become more aware, more intentional, and more of who they already are, their most authentic selves. You see, this is when magic happens and the door starts to crack and open for perspective, motivation, and direction. So with our time together today, we're going to talk about how to acknowledge the suffering that you wish to avoid. We're going to talk about how to identify the pain that you tend to avoid and learn to embrace it. And then we're going to talk about how do we choose pain as a habit to avoid suffering in all areas of our life. And it might sound a little meek and down, so I want to be very, very clear. This isn't just about avoiding suffering, because embracing pain is actually one of the most critical tools we can have in actually building our path to success. We can avoid a difficult conversation with a colleague or a client, and then we end up with a damaged business relationship that no amount of conversing can actually repair. We get really clear on the things that are important to us. We get really clear on the goals, the experiences, the memories. We get really clear on the impact and legacy that we want to leave. Then suffering is anything opposite of that. He had 3 major dreams at that point. I want to win World's Strongest Man. I want to set a world record deadlift. I want to lift more weight off the ground than anybody on this planet. And he wanted to meet, greet, and become friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So you guys might be in a position where you want to earn more money. You want to have more time. You maybe want to be a Masters Club member. You want the sales bonuses that come out quarterly. And so how do we do that? Because you can literally define a number of external points of contact that you need to touch every single day that are going to deliver results. So is that number 5 new points of contact every day? Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it 20? Is it X number of centers of influence that I need to get to every single month? But again, if we look at it from the upside, what can we earn? What can we do? It's those things, those necessary points that we've got to start to embrace in our lives. So you have to ask yourself, do I have room to find 5 or 10 more new points of contact so that I can make more money, get recognized in awards, get quarterly bonuses, and avoid the suffering of not having the life that really is as fulfilling as I want it to be? That they're not only spared suffering, but experience great joy. I certainly do, and you can too.